Do you want to have your query letter critiqued but don't want to pay to have that happen? It can be done for free, but it will be public out here on my socials. My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. As always, information on how to submit either to do this free publicly or privately through my business is in my bio. And if you do not want to wait for either of those long lines, my class on how to teach yourself this entire process is available both on TikTok and on my Patreon. It's the exact same price in both places. TikTok, it is filmed vertically, and the rest of it is like a slideshow that I'm talking over the rest of it. But it teaches you the entire process of querying, including like how to navigate some sticky etiquette situations, has before and after of successful client query letters. It gives you some other like big answers. It's 3.5 hours worth of information. It's only $30. It's about the same price as an add-on workshop at a writing conference. That's how I decided to price it, and you can find it now on my Patreon. As always, there's a real life person on the other side of this query, so I'm going to endeavor to be constructive, not destructive, and let's all be nice and nobody tell them to just go self-publish. That's not how this works. Let's jump in. I am seeking representation for Super Love, a 92,000 word rom-com featuring LGBT and BAME characters that takes place in a superhero urban fantasy setting. So we're looking for a romance structure in this sort of setting, and this is the aesthetic behind it. So as I am reading through this letter, that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for romance stakes first and foremost. You have told us by the way you have set this up that it is a romance, and this setting is just sort of vibes. Now, you might have written a story that is a fantasy story with a strong romance underneath it. It might even be very funny, right? But the way you set this up is going to change the way that people approach the stakes and what they are looking for. So what is at stake is that your main character wants to fall in love forever and be happy in a relationship. That's what I'm expecting. Super Love will appeal to fans of the flirtatious banter between main character and love interest as depicted in Lana Ferguson's The Fake Mate. That is now feeling pretty wordy here. So the flirtatious banter, like banter's kind of assumed to be flirtatious when you've said rom-com, between the main character and the love interest. Who else would be bantering in a rom-com as depicted in? So we can shrink this all down. So Super Love will appeal to fans of Lana Ferguson's banter and the modern day superhero and the superhero aesthetic of Captain Dangerous. So like this becomes not a big long standalone paragraph like this. It becomes much shorter. We are a little on the wordy side for a rom-com. 90,000 words, not impossible. This is totally within the striking distance and realm of possibility. Don't freak out. But when you combine a slightly high-ish on the other side word count with I'm using 10 times as many words as I need to down here, that does not bode well. It's inevitable that Dakota Steele, a Catonian, will start her own dynasty, marrying her best friend Nyx in order to do so as dictated by the Accords until the Ministry of Super Beings unexpectedly rejects their engagement notice. It's a long sentence. What we really have here is that Dakota does not get to marry the person she chose. That's it. I don't need to know that she's starting a dynasty. I don't need to know that she's maybe marrying best friend as part of this. I don't know that it needs to be dictated if it's being overturned. We've got too many world building details. This feels a lot like backstory. It feels like you're trying to like make sure we get all of this cool stuff that's different about your story, and it really just is coming across as confusing. The ministry thinks they're giving her 6 months to find an alternative suitor to fall madly in love with. Okay. Dakota, whose plan hadn't included love to begin with, knows she'll be spending that time in a far more productive manner finding out who she has to bribe, maim, or kill to get what she wants. This does not totally sound like a rom-com. The stakes sound like Dakota wants something else. She doesn't want to fall in love. She wants something else. Now, maybe we're going to like fall in love when we least expect it type thing. Let's keep going. Despite having only met once prior down a dark alley with him on the business end of one of her knives, Dakota agrees to enter into a fake public relationship with Elysius Harold, the Salvadorian heir to a minor dynasty. Salvadorians, or heroes as they're more commonly referred to, are tedious and self-righteous, allergic to sarcasm, and addicted to pouting dramatically in the distance, and Dakota's plan is to grit her teeth and tolerate him for as long as she needs to keep the ministry off her back. This is way too much backstory, way too much world building, this is too much stuff here. What we have is a fake dating trope. That's what this all boils down to. Dakota had a plan. It went on to hell. She's now in a fake dating relationship with Elysius, whoever this person is here, Elysius. I'm sorry. I I will always pronounce just about every name wrong. I'm really, really sorry. Instead, she accidentally falls in love. Yeah, okay, so this is a fake dating trope. We did not need two full paragraphs to explain that there's a fake dating trope here. Okay, so the media keeps calling them Romeo and Juliet, which isn't helping. That's not a romance. That's not. And Elysius keeps bringing her flowers, which really isn't helping. And suddenly her bribery plan. We never actually got a bribery plan. We never got to see that, or like, I don't think we need to keep coming back to that. Morphs into uncovering government corruption, the secret that would shock the entire world. If you're not going to tell us what the secret is, or who's corrupt, or how this actually impacts anything, then we don't need to have it in this letter. There's only one other tiny minuscule issue. Being with Elysis for real would mean giving up everything Dakota has ever wanted. I don't know what she wanted. You didn't tell us any of that. You didn't tell us what's at stake in the world. I kind of think that this superhero stuff, it either needs to be like incorporated in a meaningful way, or you need to cut it and have it be, but I wouldn't want it. That's too big of a genre shift. You're going to have to incorporate it in a much more meaningful way. So who is our main character? That is Dakota. What is it that she wants? I don't know. You like deliberately skipped over that in a couple of different places where you could have told us. Now you're selling us a rom-com, so the goal of the story is that she's going to fall in love forever, but you didn't tell us what it is that she wants. We don't know what's at stake. So this is literally like she had a plan, but it goes to hell really early. Then she has a backup plan that you don't actually tell us what it is. Then she does the fake dating trope, which your audience is going to be super excited. People love a fake dating trope. That is fantastic. And like an LGBT fake dating superhero story, come on, like you've got a pitch here. Like you've got to shrink down all of these details and get to, like, people are always in my comments being like, but how do I write a banger of a pitch? You've got a banger of a pitch. Like you do not need all of this other stuff. You probably have like a 200-word pitch in here that is actually getting to the meat of the story and dials in like just this really super cool high concept that you've got. You don't need all of this other stuff in here. So what is she willing to do to get it? I don't know, like main kill bribe, but we don't know who or like she seems like she's pretty powerful. I mean, she's being like dictated to by accords. Like she's pretty important. I bet she can kind of get away with whatever she wants. So I don't know what's really at risk for her. What is standing in her way? Because I don't know what she wants exactly. I mean, I guess like the ministry, like whoever the government accord people are, they're kind of in her way. And then the fact that she like fell in love accidentally is kind of in the way here. And then what happens if she failed? You didn't tell us. Everything will be impacted. I don't know what that means. I don't know. So I think you got to refocus this. You've got a banger of a pitch. Simplify your pitch significantly and stay focused on what Dakota wants and why this relationship is getting in the way, and like just jump straight in. You've got an LGBT fake dating. Like you've got with superheroes. Come on, like you've got a fantastic pitch. Zero in on that and stop getting distracted by all the rest of this. Leave all this to be fantastic surprises in the manuscript. It doesn't all need to be in the query letter.